Carley was awed by the sight of the glazed chocolate donut in front of her. She pulled it apart eagerly and began to eat. In between bites, she said to Chase, "All right then. What would you want to know? If it's within reason and I can answer it, I will." He nodded in understanding and then asked directly, "Did something happen to Celia yesterday at work?" Carley was momentarily stunned. She looked at him doubtfully. "You came here for this." Celia seemed like she was sad yesterday after work. She made it seem like she did something wrong, but I know my wife. "I want to know everything that happened," he replied. She felt a little strange hearing this. Husbands should protect their wives for sure, but this was a bit intense, wasn't it? Did he really need to come all the way down here to check up on her? However, she still answered him. "Yeah, Celia and the new vice president had a bit of a tiff in front of all the employees in the company yesterday. Mrs. Chen is the new vice president, and she kind of shoved her out of her way and a pile of papers went flying. It was a kind of a mess." Chase's anger flared. "Why would she do that?" "I don't know," said Carley, lowering her voice. "It's just office gossip. Mrs. Chen has a romantic relationship with the boss." Gross, I know. I guess someone told her that Celia was also having an affair with him just to cause drama. Miss Chen doesn't like competition. My guess is that she just wanted to start some trouble with Celia so that she could fire her with cause. She sighed and continued. "I really feel bad for Celia. She works so hard, but there are still people who give her a hard time." Seeing Chase's angry expression, she added, "Don't think too much about it, though. There's nothing going on between Celia and Mr. Lee. It's just petty rumors." "I trust my wife," Chase said, his expression unchanging. "But I won't stand by while someone bullies her, regardless of position. I'm going to make the situation right." Carley felt the atmosphere changing around her. She sensed that he was about to do something rash. "You're not going to do anything stupid, right? Don't go on some revenge kick for Celia. She's not going to like it and it won't help things out at work." He was silent. She continued. "Chase, stop. I know what you're thinking. But Miss Chen is the vice president of the company and she has a special relationship with Mr. Lee. You could get Celia fired. I think you should leave it alone." Chase knew deep down what she was saying was probably the best. But he didn't care. After some time, he got up to leave, saying, "I know what to do now. Thank you for your help. Stay here as long as you want. The bill's taken care of. Hopefully you enjoy the donuts." As she watched him walk away, Carley was a little confused. There was something different about this Chase than the one she'd met before. It wasn't how Celia had described him either. He seemed too sure of himself, confident, as if he had everything under control. Actually, it was a little scary. Shaking her head, she put it out of her mind and took a few minutes to enjoy the rest of her donut and coffee. Meanwhile, back in the office, Celia was staring at a stack of paperwork with a worried expression. She had been chasing the Roche Research Institute project for some time, and it was poised to make a huge profit for the company. Mr. Lee had given the absolute order to make it happen. However, recently, a director at the institute had begun to refuse all research proposals. She was presuming that it had to do because of the fact that it was already decided as to who would be given space. The matter was thus delayed. She was now thinking about how she could arrange for a meeting with the director of research. It was at this moment that the door of her office was pushed open with a bang, as if someone had kicked it open. Soon after, Nina rushed in with a murderous look on her face. She picked up the paperwork Celia had been working on and scattered it across the room. She scolded loudly. "Celia, who put you in charge of the Roche Research Institute proposal? What were they thinking? You can't even keep your papers organized. What are you still doing at this company? I'm surprised someone hasn't fired you already." Celia frowned, but she remained polite. She said, "Miss Chen, I'm working on it. I will speed up the process and contact the Institute's supervisor as soon as possible to hurry things along. Hurry up! She pointed at Celia as she scolded her. What do you mean by speeding up? How long do you expect it to take? Do you have a clear target or goal in mind? Is this the way you run your department? Celia did her best to explain. Recently, the director of the Institute stopped accepting proposal and the meetings to discuss the matter. I wanted to see him, but he kept refusing. The progress of the matter is really unpredictable, and I have no way to guarantee a timetable. Oh, so that's all you have? Nina continued. Since they won't see you, what can you do about it? If you can't make it happen, why don't you go and be a dysfunctional at someone else's company? If not, maybe you should stick to what you're good at. Celia's face darkened. She couldn't take it anymore. Miss Chen, please do not slander me or my name. Slander you? Nina snorted. You know what you've done, she said disdainfully. I will give you 3 days. If you can't get the proposal accepted at the Institute in 3 days, then you could stay. If not, then you will resign. Nina was extremely arrogant. She knew that the Roche Research Institute had put a pause on proposal submissions. It wasn't Celia's fault, but she was looking for a reason to make things overwhelmingly uncomfortable for her. If she was capable, then maybe, just maybe, Nina would see a reason to keep her around. On the other side, Celia felt that Nina was causing trouble for nothing. She still didn't understand why she hated her so much. 3 days wasn't a lot of time. It was barely time for someone to review the proposal, let alone for them to negotiate the logistics and fine print. On top of that, the director wasn't even taking meetings. Finally, Celia spoke. Miss Chen, that's impossible. I know you're aware of the situation with the Institute. It's impossible to get a contract signed in 3 days. Nina tapped her high heel on the ground in a tut-tut of disapproval. Impossible? Impossible? She said louder now. Perhaps for you it is not possible. I am the vice president. You are a manager. My orders are final. There is either possible or there is no job. Do you understand? You can either do as I say or pack up and leave. Then to herself she added, if you can't do a single thing, what use do I have for you? Celia's eyes were bloodshot, and her fingers tightly gripped the hem of her shirt. Once again, colleagues had poked their heads out of offices and into the hallway to eavesdrop on the commotion. No one was happy. Everyone felt indignant on Celia's behalf. Other than pity and sympathy, there was no other way to help. At this moment, Carley, who had just arrived at the company after her breakfast with Jace, was shocked to find Celia and Nina in her standoff. Celia's cheeks were flushed, and her eyes were filled with tears. Carley figured that Nina must have breathed her in front of her office entirely. She quickly picked up her phone and texted Chase. Have you left yet? Come up into the office. When Chase got Carley's text, he was still sitting in the front of the car with Meg in makeup. He had no intention of leaving. Even if she hadn't asked him to come inside, he would have found an opportunity to do so. He needed to see what was going on for himself. Upon receiving her text, he felt even more infuriated. Clenching his fists, he headed straight for the front doors. Nini really had it coming to her this time.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.